All right, CNT125 troubleshooting lab. We are working on our layer 3 troubleshooting, and we just worked through a number of changes on the router. We saved the config, we saved our packet tracer file, and now we're going to see if the series of changes we made in the router are actually going to filter out to our PCs. So we're going to go to each of these PCs in turn and see if these changes have taken effect, and try to do some connectivity testing now. So PC1, command prompt, I'm going to do an IP config, and it looks like we still have the old config, so let's do a release renew. Let's do a renew, and we're looking for it to pick up this new gateway of 64.1 and DNS server of 10.10.10.2. Excellent. So we're now going to try to ping our gateways 192, 168, 64.1. And we have a successful good, so that matches up. Now let's try to ping 10.10, oh my goodness, 10.10.10.3. We're going to try to ping the web server. Now, first time you do it, it might time out a little bit because it's still trying to find its path, but I should see some successfuls. Oh, excellent. So that's telling me that I'm getting the correct IP information from my DHCP scope, I'm getting the right gateway, and I even have a path the whole way through the ISP over to the web server. That's what that's telling me. Let's try to trace route to the web server and see what path it's taking. We should see it go through all of this this network here, all these networks, if you will. Trace route. We're hitting the gateway, we're hitting the ISP, then we're hitting the web server. Excellent. So we know the layer 3 is functioning well for this PC. Let's now try next PC, PC2. Let's see if that one has the changes we've made will take place. So let's do IP config. And again, we're still getting that old 64.10. So let's do a release renew. And let's do a renew now. And let's see if we pick up, there we go, 64.1, and we're getting the DNS server. So let's try to ping the 10.10.10.3. We're going to go right for the web server. Hey, we got connection to the web server. Let's do a trace route now. We'll do trace RT over to the web server, and we have a full path over there. Excellent. So we're getting our layer 3 connectivity figured out. Let's try the laptop now. IP config on this guy. Let's see what we get. IP config, we're still getting a 10 address over here. So let's do a release renew on this one as well. Release. And let's do a renew. We should pick up, yeah, there we go. We're getting a 192.1 for the gateway, and we're getting the DNS server. Excellent. So let's do a ping of 10.10.10.3. And we have it, so let's do a trace of that as well. Trace RT. And we're getting a full pathway to our web server. Excellent. So we now have the appropriate IP information, gateway information, even DNS information that we're getting a full pathway over to our web server at the ISP. So our layer 3, we have rooted out a number of issues at layer 3, a lot of them stemming from bad configuration on the DHCP scopes on the router. And actually, there was some NAT configuration in there too that was going to hold you up too. So we corrected that while we went along, and that's allowing all of this communication to occur. So our layer 3, all right, how do we verify it? Layer 3 at a PC? We're doing things like your IP config. IP config release renew, checking out the IP, and then very carefully looking at all the numbers, comparing them with what they should be. And we found a bunch that were not right. So then we moved on to the router, which was producing a lot of the errors. And we literally went through the router almost line by line and checked all the interfaces. Then we checked the DHCP scopes. We found a lot of errors in the DHCP scopes pointing to wrong gateways and wrong DNSs. We fixed those. Then we kept going, and we actually checked the NAT config because there was an issue there with NAT translating to the wrong interface. So that was actually going to translate our IP config backwards, if you will. And we corrected that. So we did a number of things on the router, kind of going through line by line, checking all the ports, all the addresses, and fixing those as we went. So a number of things we're doing on the router there, show runs and correcting interfaces, that sort of thing. So there is a whole bunch of layer 3 troubleshooting in our network, and we're almost there. We almost have this site back online. We'll come back in the next podcast with upper layer troubleshooting.